A warm welcome to all our viewers to our series Natural Medicine. In turbulent times, it can also be an episode via a connection. So my studio guest is not here today, but is connected to me. And today we'll talk about chronic health. It's more important than ever that we bring our health more and more into focus and strengthen our immune system. Today, I was able to get Miss Jutta Suffner again for our show. She's a graduate engineer in biomedicine, naturopath, and I also think, no, I know it too, an expert in chronic health. Welcome, dear Jutta.
Hello, dear Alexander. Greetings to Switzerland from the Baltic Sea.
Thank you very much. Nice that you're here. And thank you for your time. I really want to talk to you about chronic health. A wonderful word that you phrased there. And I find, instead of negative phrases all the time, it's great to find something positive. And we're shooting this episode like this now because you can't be here because the border's closed. And in these phases, we all think again and again about what we can do to be and stay chronically healthy and not enter a risk group.
Yes, Alexander. I think the most important thing at the moment is where do I put my focus? Because what strikes me a lot, and what makes me very sad sometimes, is not the virus of a certain disease, but rather the virus of fear, and that you just have to make yourself aware that fear reduces our immune system a lot. Because fear is, of course, originally something wonderful. If a saber-toothed tiger used to come, then there were certain signals in our brain that said, attention, attention. Now pack all your energy into your heart, muscles, arms and legs. Alexander, run to escape the saber-toothed tiger. The whole thing took maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. And at some point we were back in our cave and our system was able to calm down again. But what is happening now, or especially in these special times, for many, many people, and I will include myself here too, so even I fell into such a mode last week, that we're in such a constant state of fear. And what is scientifically proven, no matter whether the saber-toothed tiger is really standing in front of us, or whether we just imagine that it is standing in front of us, the same areas of the brain are activated. And all the energy that we actually need to keep our immune system intact is used to be in this runaway mode. And now think about it, if this energy is always in, let's say, runaway mode, is in escape mode, our immune system needs a lot of energy to even be able to fend off viruses, bacteria and all that. The immune system lacks that. And I think it's important that people just become aware of where do you put your focus. Please put it on your health. Something more positive instead of fear. And I think that's very, very important at this time.
Yes, we're all a bit caught up in this bad news, in these negative phrases. We're looking for something positive, but we don't see anything at all. It's very one-sided at present. And as you said so beautifully, when being in this escape mode, we produce a lot of hormones. Adrenaline is set free. There's a lot of stress there. And stress is actually always the so-called sympathetic nervous system. And relaxation would be the parasympathetic. That means we'd have to pay much more attention to get back into relaxation mode after those stressful weeks, right?
Yes, and that's really the case at the moment, not for the majority, but for a very large number of people. When the sympathetic nervous system is the gas and the parasympathetic is the brake, we're currently on the gas and the brakes at the same time, and our organism doesn't even know. Hello, what should I do now? And of course, then it focuses or centralizes its main energy on somehow keeping this whole human system going. But the important things like the intestines, the digestion, everything in our vessels, all this energy that we simply need for vital functions and for the immune system, these are currently lying idle in many, many people. And I can really only give advice based on my behaviour. Maybe that will help a lot of people. Yes, it is an exceptional situation, but every year we have flu-like infections. We always have situations in which it simply matters that we strengthen our immune system. And I just think it's important to tell the viewers about means with which I can strengthen my immune system, the positive things I do. And if then, no matter which virus comes, you can imagine it, I was just looking for it, but didn't find it. There are these beautiful spiky balls that depict a virus.
Exactly.
This is how you can imagine a virus, but this virus needs a host. So it's like a lock and key principle. And if we are well armed, have a good immune system, then such a virus arrives and says, "Oh dear, Alexander, Jutta, no thanks, I'm afraid of them, I'll leave." That means because our immune system is now beautifully intact, it has no possibility at all to settle down with us somehow. And I think that's what we should focus on. At least that's my opinion at the moment.
Before I'd like to talk to you about this physical action that can be done to stay chronically healthy, I'd like to look at the psychological component again. What do you recommend to the viewers to no longer focus on this saber-toothed tiger in their heads, to easily escape this stress mode?
What helps me a lot, or has helped me a lot, and these are all methods that I also took from other people, if you're really in this massive fear, just take a mental step or two out of yourself. Take a look at yourself. And that sounds a bit strange now, but it works very well. And then you'll be surprised or amazed at first. What cloud of thoughts, women are even better at that than men, what a cloud of thoughts surrounds you and what thoughts they really are. This is a tool, and what is a very quick tool is to really concentrate on your breath. That you put 2 or 3 fingers on the breastbone, then you have the focus on the heart. Inhale for 5 seconds, stop for 1 second, exhale again for 5 or 6 seconds. And if I do that for about 2 minutes, that sounds very little now, but even in those 2 minutes, I can get my parasympathetic nervous system up and shut down the sympathetic. It works, and it's worth practicing, no matter where I am.
Thank you very much. Now, we'd like to get to the physical part. And here, I'd like to ask you, do we actually have to focus primarily on free radicals, this stress that steals an incredible amount of electrons? Or do we have to ensure that we have enough vitamins or antioxidants or minerals? How do you see the main focus there?
On the one hand, it's a complete package. The thoughts are one thing. When you said electrons, what immediately came to my mind is walking barefoot. Take off your shoes, walk barefoot, even if we can't and shouldn't walk that far now. But maybe everyone has a garden or something similar around them, just for their feet to touch the ground again. This way you take in electrons and help your antioxidant capacity. That would be very easy. And when you start the day in the morning, what should we drink? For example, green tea. Green tea is highly antioxidant, can be bought anywhere and is inexpensive. And if I drink half a litre every morning, then I'll definitely start the day with a booster for my immune system. But there is one small note. Many people let it brew for 2 to 3 minutes. Please take the first 30-second infusion, pour it away, and then let it brew for 10 minutes. And then these massive active ingredients come into action, just by the way. And then this whole composition, starting from, I'm just talking about what I take now, vitamin D in combination with magnesium, because one can't be converted without the other. This is extremely important for the immune system. Vitamin C, that is something that we have in common with guinea pigs, because we can't produce it ourselves. The mouse has clear advantages that it can do that. So vitamin C, yes, that's why. In that case, it would be good to be a mouse. Vitamin C has massive immune stabilizing effects. and it has an incredible collagen stabilizing effect. These are very important things. And vitamin A is important for the mucous membranes because through droplets or various infections, the mucous membranes are always endangered. Vitamin A is important here. My special booster is, of course, still the wild blueberry from the company Blue Antox, which I can absolutely recommend. Because what is very important to me, no matter if big, small, young, old, is to take something that has an adaptogenic effect, so is adaptive and looks for the construction site in the body, so to speak, which is important right now. And yesterday I leafed through old tomes a bit, and there I found a very old book from the USA, also about adaptogens, that an extract from wild bilberries, so from these blueberries, can increase the number of natural killer cells, which sounds very dramatic, but that's part of our immune system and is a very, very important defender against viruses and bacteria. And if someone is interested, I can send it to them. A study was done at the same time. And of course, that is a huge, huge advantage for us when we ingest something like that.
Isn't that the strongest antioxidant? Or did I read something different?
No, that's right, that's correct. And what is even more important among other various types of mushrooms, one of the strongest adaptogens, so adaptable substances. And I think that is more important than ever in this day and age. Each of us is on a different level. Everyone needs support at a different point. And someone said recently he's an athlete who also does bodybuilding. He always gets the impression when he takes the blue Antox in combination with, for example, with vitamin C or with another, it would increase everything even more and optimise massively. And I found that very nice feedback.
I want to go back to the vitamins that you also mentioned. In your opinion, is it not possible these days to get enough vitamins through a high-quality diet? Do we have to supplement today?
A very good question, which I unfortunately have to answer with yes, because there's also a study. Now, let me express it correctly. A comparison was made between 1914 and 2019. The levels of zinc, magnesium, iron and calcium were measured in broccoli, carrots, pears and apples. I hope I said it correctly now. Guess how much lower the vital substance content was in 2019 compared to 1914.
I'm afraid it's between 70 and 90%, right? Correct?
Unfortunately, yes. And so many vital substances, micronutrients, are impossible to ingest. Also, omega-3, magnesium, vitamin D. You can no longer ingest this from food, and there are enough studies on it, and enough very, very competent orthomolecular physicians. Also Professor Spitz, who have very, very relevant study experience.
About D3, I keep hearing that it activates the immune system only if we have a sufficiently high level of D3. Do you have a rule of thumb for yourself as to how many D3 units you recommend?
So with what you certainly never go wrong, that you say between 4,000 and 5,000 international units per person. In any case, this is absolutely within the normal range. But it's also important to say that you need magnesium so that the inactive form of the vitamin, one always says vitamin, but it's a hormone, just like vitamin A is also a hormone. In order for vitamin D3 to be converted from inactive to active form, we absolutely need magnesium. This is often underestimated, and also vitamin D and vitamin A, the two also belong together. There are then different processes that take place, and they fuse at the nucleus level. In the past, vitamin A was still known from cod liver oil. Well, I still knew it. I always had to drink it.
Right, and the cod liver oil, wasn't there omega-3? Omega-3 with vitamin A. That's completely gone today, this omega-3 issue. It has been for decades, and now it's finally coming back.
Yes, and it's also omega-3. I forgot that just now. Also a hugely important component. It's anti-inflammatory. That's really my topic too, hence the bilberry. Everything that causes inflammation is really the start of each disease, we know that, or of cancer, or of these massive diseases. And in order to reduce this inflammation in the body and keep it as low as possible, it simply makes sense, especially in these times, to ingest these vital substances. And I really take everything I've just mentioned because I realise you need it. And I'm also now offering all these consultations because it's very important to me to at least speak briefly with people. Everyone is on a different level, and that you don't throw it all out with the bathwater, but look to see who might have a cardiovascular disease. Q10 makes sense here, and who might take various statins, or whatever, any conventional medicine. Where do we still have to adjust or regulate upwards? So that's why it's always important to do a little fine-tuning in conversations in the consultation.
Back again briefly to D3. Of those units that you mentioned, every viewer can supplement like this, or should they go to the doctor and have it adjusted properly?
So the best bet is definitely to have the vitamin D3 level measured. At the moment, it is
difficult to go to the doctor,
a little complicated. Therefore, I can really say with a clear conscience, 4,000 to 5,000 units. You can really say that everyone needs them today, because the sun only has the effect we would like in summer, and then really only if we were to walk around naked at the Baltic Sea or in Switzerland every day. And to be honest, I haven't seen anyone doing that on a daily basis.
Well, then, we now know that for vitamin D3 it would be great if you supplemented it a little now, because it's very important for chronic health that this level is sufficient. When it comes to vitamins C and A, which you've mentioned as well, should you really always supplement them too?
At the moment, I think it's vitamin C, so I combine it with vitamin D and also with the blue Antox. So with vitamin C, the blueberry gives such a huge boost because vitamin C is, so to speak, has a collagen stabilizing effect, just like this bilberry extract. And when you imagine, collagen is the basis of our entire body network. All those collagen fibres, it's like a house. This house will only be stable if we fill the stones with enough cement and water. And that's why vitamin C is extremely important to me. And now I always see a lot of joggers running around here. Sure, after any sport it increases regeneration, just like the blue Antox. So right now for vitamin C, I'm currently taking 3 times 2 capsules. 1 capsule contains 200 milligrams. You can get 1 or 2 grams a day.
Yeah, that's still low. I recently had a senior doctor here who says 4 grams for healthy people, up to 16 grams for high-risk patients, as he said, because this antioxidant energy ultimately reduces inflammation, as does this blue Antox. You have no preference for any. Can you just go to the pharmacy and say, I'd like a good high-quality vitamin C?
Well, we have, the Blue Antox company has a few products, but they are good. It has a vitamin C, a natural one. That's also 200 milligrams in a capsule because that's the amount which the body metabolizes without wasting anything, so to speak. I think that's very good. And that in combination with the bilberry. You can order these 2 things directly from Blue Antox, if you like. And you can write to me regarding vitamin D. I have 1 or 2 companies that I buy from myself. There are really many suppliers. There are excellent omega-3 suppliers. We can also recommend something for vitamin A if you have any questions. But I'm convinced that you can find a good supplier.
I think I just understood something about why there is blueberry with vitamin C in it. Because I recently had a chemist here who talked about NADH and Q10, which drive each other. Because the NADH releases an electron and then it becomes a radical, and it gets back from the Q10 and can release it again. And I suppose that's exactly the same thing. The blue Antox, that blueberry extract, releases energy, an electron, and gets it right back from the vitamin C and then releases it again. So there's double the energy. Is that correct?
It really increases at first. We didn't. Or at first I wasn't even aware of it. People from the outside mentioned that to us because they said whenever we take it together, we just really notice a massive regeneration. And thank you all for the feedback. And so it happened that I also said, I always take it together and then realise, wow, then I have the strength and energy again, and the whole inflammation mode is kept within limits because fear and stress are unfortunately some of the greatest inflammation mediators. And I think we should counteract this, not just now, but constantly.
Great. So let's summarise again. We should calm the mind through conscious breathing, let go of stress. Then it would be very advisable to have the D3 level measured, or for now temporarily, as long as the doctors are so busy. Just take the units that you recommended, or consult your family doctor. And then just a little bit of vitamins, so A, C and D3, of course. You said A, C. A and C. Did you say A and C?
A, C and D3, exactly. And then the blue Antox.
Exactly, and the blue Antox, because that naturally drives each other up.
One more important thing, maybe especially when you have to go outside now or are out and about, but that goes for any normal flu season, zinc. Very good as a lozenge, because zinc is always absorbed into the oral mucosa. And then you can easily stabilise the oral mucosa, which is simply exposed to all these external influences all the time. And therefore zinc as lozenges or otherwise as orotate, because the orotate forms are very well absorbed. And the recommendation is that you don't take it with a meal, but preferably in the evening at 6 p.m. These are experiences that I made, and I am happy to pass them on.
We've 1 minute left, and I have two more questions. One is, this recipe, what you just said now, combined, let's say, with a little exercise every day, is actually a basic requirement, or the best requirement, to make a retirement plan for chronic health, right?
Yes, I can only support that because through my own experience that I had through the viral disease, if I had known all that back then, I would have recovered faster than a couple of years. And that's why that's so important to me. You are worth it to do something now so that you really remain chronically healthy.
My last question about this blue Antox, about this blueberry extract and this vitamin C, which you've mentioned several times now. If you'd like more information on this, just some reading material, what it's all about, what you talked about now, where can I find this information?
So there is my website, www.juttasuffner.com. There's also a link, but more important is www.blueantox.com. Blue like the colour and Antox for antioxidant. And there on the website you will find the phone numbers of really experienced therapists. Please call them or write an email to info@blueantox.com. or write to me at info@juttasuffner.com. Also for consultations or the Delta scan, which I'm doing. You find everything on the website, and then we will provide you with the relevant information, of course, with the blueberry and vitamin C. So not me, but my colleagues from the company.
Okay, thank you very much, dear Jutta. Thank you for taking the time to give us some education here, and also to show a little bit clearly that health also starts in the head up here with our thought structures, and we have it in our own hands. Doing something for our health actively and making a plan for a healthy retirement. Thank you very much, dear Jutta.
Thank you to Switzerland.
Please stay connected, we'll keep talking. I quickly say goodbye to the audience. Dear viewers, I'd like to say thank you very much for accompanying us again today. I think it's all said. Take a little precaution, really consume these many antioxidants. Because today we simply have more stress, more environmental toxins, have more and more foods that bring us lots of centres of inflammation. And I keep hearing from experts that we are smart when we work with antioxidants, buy high-quality nutrients, and take omega-3 to contain these centres of inflammation, or with this vitamin C and blue antox that has just this antioxidant power and releases electrons and thus binds free radicals. I wish you all the best, stay healthy, and see you next time.